resurrection of Jesus is described now as one of the best attested facts in history, which to anyone of a rational disposition seems an extraordinary claim, that we might be able to maintain the resurrection of a person from death 2,000 years ago is better attested than, say, the Battle of Actium or Julius Caesar. But these claims are regularly made. Now, let me familiarise you, those of you who have never entered the twilight zone of Christian apologetics, just how this methodology works. And I'll briefly give you an introduction. It won't take more than about 3 minutes, which I think we just about have time for, but as it relates to a different resurrection, that is, of someone other than Jesus. Now, the person I'm going to take for this example is actually known to you all, and you immediately recognise the example. If we take the story of Snow White, you will know that she returned from death through the kiss of a prince. Now, many of you might think that that is a fairy story, but actually it's one of the best attested events in history. Now, how can we prove that point? Well, we have a number of first-hand witnesses to that event. For example, we have the handsome prince himself. Now, his life was changed by that event. He got married. He lived happily ever after. So we have a witness there that we can rely upon. Who else do we have? We have the wicked queen. Now, that's a particularly good witness because she gives enemy attestation of the event. She wanted Snow White dead, but no. So we have a second really good witness. We had the witness of the servant who was sent to kill Snow White. Now, he changed his mind, of course. He didn't kill Snow White in the forest, he let her live. So here we have a very good witness from a cynic. A skeptic, we could say that he changed his mind. He's a third good witness. Now, we have something which we might also describe as an embarrassing witness. For example, we had the witness of the magic mirror. The magic mirror is such an obvious silliness that the fact that it's in the story proves that it must be true. Okay, and giving some support to that idea is an early creed. That creed, as we all know, is mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all. Now that shows that that story is actually can be traced back to prior evidence. The creed obviously preceded the story. So we have the evidence there of a creed. Who else do we have to bear out this story as history? Well, of course, we have the statements made by Happy, Grumpy, Sleepy, Sneezy, Dopey, Bashful, and Doc. We have 7 first-hand witnesses to the resurrection. In total, then, we have 11 witnesses, first-hand statements that this is actually history. Do we believe it? Of course we don't. It's a fairy story. I'm just playing with words. And Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs is a fairy story. And I'm sorry to tell some of you that Jesus Christ and the 12 disciples is a fairy story. And evidence for the resurrection is constructed in precisely the way I've outlined. Now, we might maintain, of course, it could all be true anyway, in which case it requires a miracle. Now, I'm not going to rule out a miracle a priori. After all, by its very definition, it's something so unusual we wouldn't know it, we wouldn't have evidence for it. At least, how would we prove that it had ever occurred? Okay, so my point would be that we have no evidence for the resurrection other than that which has been carefully constructed by people so motivated to maintain the truths of a religion which had been weakened to the point of almost self-destruction by the proofs of science. But nonetheless, you know, the industry which can present this story as fact has vast strength, vast resources, transmits its message across the world, holds forums explaining how it is all true, and I have to say, it is all bogus. Thank you.